Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention?
Not gonna lie, I kind of love the attention.
Everyone loves to read about your life.
What's up, do Shuey?
My mom warned me about friends like
A
you.
bit overwhelming.
Hey, I'm here for the ride. Yo, what's good, people? We're back in the booth. What's up, Al?
Man, how do you always look so good every single week?
Hey, man, listen, I treat my fashion like I'm going to meet my wife every single day.
So you think you're going to walk into a podcast studio and meet
just
your wife?
just in case. Look, we could actually just be getting into the elevator and she's coming down. A lot of people have met that way. I believe it could be me.
Oh, wow, okay. Yep.
Absolutely. Also, before we actually start, huge congrats to Jack and Courtney, man. They're expecting a baby soon.
Massive congrats to my close friends, Jack and Courtney. They just went, official on Instagram.
Man.
A little cute video came out saying they're going to have a baby in November.
Come on now. Hey, you next.
Am I?
Hey, listen, before I get into it, guys, we must remind you we are recording on Gadigal land, and boy, I can't wait to talk about how we're going to be planning your baby.
All right.
Anyway, let's get into
Little
it.
baby Elle, let's go. All right, and then on today's episode, we have an actual success story.
Yo, come on. Oh, my God.
So we are introducing Bryce and Melissa, who are on 2 seasons before me on
you.
MAFS.
That's what's up.
And they're still happily together, happily married, and even have kids. So welcome, Bryce and Melissa.
What's up, guys?
Hey,
Hey, Elle, Taku, we are a rare stat in MAFS history.
Hey, listen, I have been looking at the history of MAFS, man, and man, it's not really that many of y'all. But every single
it
time
like?
that I get to meet people like you guys, I need to be taking notes, man, on how you guys did it. Because I'm
Like
struggling
6
out
out of
shit.
82 or something? I don't know. Maybe I'm giving him too much credit.
Yo, so, look, before we even get into, MAFS, like we always ask, because like this show, Back to Reality is, coming back into reality, after, TV. But we always want to go back before reality TV. Did you guys ever see yourself on MAFS at all?
I did the silly thing and actually applied for the show. Partially. I only got through about 30 minutes worth of the application, and then I just gave up because I thought completely hopeless, and I thought it was a legitimate way to find love. But when I did actually get accepted onto the show, it was actually quite mind-blowing. And it was an awesome experience, but I definitely never saw myself doing it, let alone being picked. Yeah.
And I got hit up through, like, a lot of people nowadays on Instagram. So it was sort of one of those things. I was working in media. I'd been in radio for like 10 years at that stage. And yeah, I don't know. I think I'd done a lot of interviewing of people that had done Married at First Sight, particularly the season before ours, season 7. So maybe they kind of saw me through that. I don't know. But yeah, I think you kind of apply for the show thinking, it's going to be a good experience with a little bit of hope that it actually might work out.
Yeah. And did you guys ever watch MAFS before going on it? Like, did you know what's going to happen, or were you guys just sort of going in blindly?
Yeah, well, I was forced to for work because every radio station talks about it on a day-to-day basis. But no, look, I'll admit I was actually a fan of the show. It's one of those shows, Married at First Sight, that you watch to feel better about yourself until you're actually the person watching yourself and you feel like shit. So yeah.
I love how we said that, because I've heard someone else say it. It's like, man, hey, my life actually ain't really that bad.
So legit. That's why I watch most of those like reality TV shows, because then you like look at how bad like things are going on, and you're like, and you compare your relation, like all things going on in your life to like that.
100%, because you're like, hey man, I thought my shit was fucked up. And then you come back and you're like, hey man, some of these people, I don't know where the hell they got them, but I'm here for it. And you keep watching anyway.
Yeah, exactly right.
It's like you don't realise what your life is actually like until you've got a spotlight put on it. You've got cameras in your face filming for 3 months, and you've got 1 million people or 800,000 people a night watching this show. Then, of course, everyone's favourite friend, social media, giving opinions as well. So it kind of does put a spotlight on you as a person. I guess I cop that a fair bit. But at the same time, too, it's good and bad as well. If you want to go and change yourself as a person, best thing for me, because obviously I had some flaws that needed changing, and I think I've changed. But look, some people go on there and can get an amazing glowing edit, but they're actually the worst people in the world. So it has a real weird way of balancing itself out.
So during like filming, did you guys think you're going to come across well? You know what I mean? Because like that's something like, especially like when you're, you know, in front of the cameras, like it's almost like a weird feeling. You know what I mean? Like when you're like, I'm being recorded on every single thing that I say, and I could be scrutinized if I just, you know what I mean, take like a, you know, like a weird step. You know what I mean? So it's like for you guys, like how did you guys think you were going to be, I guess, viewed?
I actually didn't think about it that much. I had no idea about reality TV. I don't come from that world. I had only watched MAFS for a couple of seasons, so I didn't actually think too much about it. So I was just myself and I actually didn't plan ahead to think that there would be an edit of myself other than who I am. So, I genuinely thought I would come across the way that I did, and I think that was true. Sunny, our dog.
The dog agrees too.
Yeah. But I did get paired with somebody that made our experience seem a lot more challenging.
Or entertaining. Because look,
I like watching you.
Going through it, I actually thought the way that things actually played out when we were filming for that 3 months, I thought we would come out and people were like, shit, people are actually going to feel sorry for us here. We've worked out, they can see that we're actually a genuine couple. We've had guys and girls throwing shit at us the whole time, making up rumours, deflecting from their own problems in their own relationship that wasn't actually a relationship. And I thought, you know what? Australia is going to be smart enough to see through these people. But unfortunately, it kind of got flipped the other way where a lot of it was highlighting me responding to things that were being said. Like, there's no secret, me and that girl, Rebecca, did not get along. And to be fair, a lot of it was me sort of biting back at her, saying things to Melissa. So any man in a relationship that's going well is going to stand up for their partner, and especially in an experiment like MAFS. And a lot of it was me responding to her, but a lot of that was taken out of context because they never showed the whole conversation, what was going on. Like, I remember you telling me when we first met that Rebecca had said stuff about Melissa slut-shaming her and all this type of stuff. And immediately that put me offside with her. I was like, who is this chick? Like, we've known people here for like 2 or 3 weeks. You've met each other twice. And you're going to turn around and like slut-shame Melissa, who is clearly the nicest person on this experiment. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to stand for that. Like, one, that's my partner who I get along with really well at that point, starting to form a connection with. And I was like, no, stuff it. I'll stand up for you. I would in the real world. Just because we've got a camera in our face doesn't mean I'm not going to shy away from it. Where I think a lot of people in our series shied away from themselves because they were on camera and they didn't want to be perceived as being a villain or being controversial, where honestly, I didn't give a shit. I'm like, if people liked me, they did. If they didn't, so be it. Like, I was myself. I was honest the whole time, and people took that as, I guess, what's the right word of saying? Like, it came across negative in some times, like when I described Melissa in a rankings task. Like, it's not great putting her forth, but at the same time too, we literally had this conversation over the weekend because we're like, it always comes up when we do it. And she goes, do you ever regret doing it? I said, well, I don't regret it because at that time in our relationship, I was honest and I got told to do it from a certain perspective from my producer. And I did it that way, where if they said it's the personality, the looks, all this and that, I would have completely flipped the chart.
You said something about like conflict, you know, and like how people, you know, on the show are a little bit reserved when it comes to, you know, confrontation. You know what I'm saying? Do you kind of feel like the way that you dealt with situations is why people kind of, you know, didn't like you so much on the show? Like,
yeah, 100%. There's no way else of putting it, but I don't mix my words. I'm very blunt, straight to the point. If I don't like you, you're going to know about it. So I've kind of changed my tune since meeting Melissa. I think one of the reasons that we work out and have worked out so well is because we've kind of leveled each other out, because I was the outgoing, outspoken one. Liz was the more quieter, reserved one. And she's kind of implemented that into my life to a degree.
He gets a lot of jabs under the table from me poking him so hard to like, don't say anything.
Yeah, that's the kind of shit that my grandparents used to do, man. But you know what's so crazy? My granddad always used to pick out my grandmom and go, so why you hitting me under the table? And everyone's like, oh, shit. So, Bryce, I hope you ain't doing that, man. Just get the sign and let's go on.
No, it's funny. I don't know if you can recall our reunion dinner party, but I didn't say boo the whole time because I came home with bruises on my legs from Liz kicking me, saying don't say a word, but good bruises though.
Yeah. So have you? So obviously with the edit and everything, with and copying all like the I guess the negative comments and everything. Have you come to peace with your edit now?
Oh, it is what it is. Like people still to this point on the weekend, I played soccer and people were saying, "Oh, MAFS this, MAFS that." I'm like, dude, 3 years ago. Like, it is what it is. Like, you can't change what comes out. You can't control what they put onto a final edit of a show. It is what it is. Like, I think probably like for a year or so after the show, I was pissed off at how it came out because I was like, why couldn't you actually show the other 75% of our relationship, which was good, and the full the conversations that happened between myself and Rebecca, for example, what I said before. But I'm like, I was pissed off, and now I'm like, well, you know what? At the end of the day, we're still together. So if people want to believe what they actually saw as being the reality of Married at First Sight, well, then it probably says more about their way of thinking than it does how I feel about how we were perceived.
Yeah, wow.
Because man, something else too that kept popping up, because I didn't really actively watch your season, but like knowing that you guys were going to be coming on, I had to kind of do a little bit of research in that. And Bryce, you did cop a lot of heat, my man, and like a lot of people were going as far as using the word narcissist. What do you say to that? Like, what I'm saying? I hope that doesn't, come across weird or nothing, but yeah.
I reckon that I sort of fell into that sort of category where wokeism was really trying to propel itself forward in society. I guess COVID probably brought on one thing, from my personal opinion, that whole woke brigade that's out there on social media, the vocal minority of people, had their opportunity to be heard because everyone was sitting at home on their phones, sitting on Facebook, sitting on Instagram. And of course, our series was in the spotlight of when COVID was sort of being shone. And I think, I don't know, people can throw around the word narcissist and not even know what the true meaning of it is. I can sit here right now and say, I 100% don't know what that true meaning is, nor do I care what it is. Because I don't fall into that whole woke brigade of, oh, you're a gaslighter, you're this. I'm like, you know what? I am a normal bloke that probably is the same as you two, likes going out, hanging with mates, talking shit. They'll talk crap about other people and you don't feel guilty about it. But at the same time too, I don't buy into the whole, oh, you're a narcissist. I guess if I was as bad as what was sort of made out on TV, I don't think Liz would stay with me. She's a lot smarter than that. So
yeah, because I was getting thrown around a lot. Like they'd probably use it like very loosely, the word narcissist. But Mel, did you know like the meaning? Did you Google narcissist or anything?
I did have to actually Google it while the show was airing because it was popping up so much. And look, I think many people have traits and elements of being a narcissist, but it's just such a very overutilized term now, and it's just I think it's a real trigger word for a lot of people. And at the end of the day, you're only seeing an hour and 2 hours of a show. You're not actually experiencing the whole relationship of living together for 3 months every single day. So it wasn't something that was really affecting me, but what upset me more was that people were calling my partner at the time this word, but it was actually affecting a lot more people in the public because it became triggering. That word became a trend, and a lot of people were triggered by it, and then were taking it back to their own relationship. And you can utilize our relationship as a benchmark for what you were experiencing on the TV, which I know it didn't come across good. Our relationship didn't look good all the time on TV, but off the screen, it actually was flourishing, not because of any narcissistic traits or anything. It's just at the time, the way that Bryce handled himself, especially in the beginning, was golden TV. So they had to run with that.
They would have loved Bryce. And it's entertainment. It's like straight up.
Well, some of my friends called me the entertainer of the series. I said if I wasn't on it, it wouldn't have been worth watching. And to be fair, you look back at it, like we had some pretty boring people in our series. Let's be fair. Like Do I name names or
you
what?
love to stir the pot, don't you?
No, I won't name names, but there was like a couple of people like Sam and Beth, for example, the most boring people to watch on TV. And you just, lucky they were gone the first 2 weeks. Otherwise, it probably would have tanked in ratings. But at the same time,
who's Sam and Beck? I actually don't know who they are.
I had to actually Google who was on our series before talking to you. So.
But
but I love that so much, man, because you know what, the most admirable thing, man, is both of you guys like stay true to who you were, because the biggest thing, man, that I seem to see, especially with people that are going on the show, is they watch back the seasons and try and see someone that kind of has a similar personality to him and like try and replicate. But y'all guys, man, just stay true to who you were, and now it showed. And I think now that's where a lot of the relationships, I feel like, is even like on Love Island or whatever it is, like those love TV shows, when they come out, that's when the real smoke starts. You know what I mean? But for you guys to come out and flourish like this, get married in Feb, and now y'all guys got Levi and Tate. Like, yo, man, that's big. That's big. So, man, I'd like to congratulate y'all.
Yeah. Congratulations on your wedding, by the
Thanks,
way.
No, that was good. I think for us too, the wedding that we had back in February wasn't more about officially getting married. It was more about celebrating our relationship, because it was funny when we were planning the wedding. We felt like we've kind of been married before. So it's sort of like ours was the least traditional wedding that you will ever have been to if you're invited, because it wasn't sit down formal. It was very run of the mill. Hey, ceremony's done in 10 minutes, so we're done, and let's just have a party and celebrate. And it was good. It was sort of exactly what we wanted. And I guess people sort of saw how happy we were in the day, and you can't fake that shit. Excuse the French, but you can't fake that shit. So.
And were there like obviously a lot of people at your wedding? Because I saw some videos here and there, but were like obviously before the show you would have, I don't know, did you lose any friends before the show, and then some people wouldn't have come to the wedding, wouldn't have been invited and things like that, or was everyone there still your true mates?
Oh look, I guess from my perspective, I had a lot of friends that worked in radio at the time, because I'd sort of worked in different sort of areas of Australia, and people that I was really good friends with, I guess, kind of took advantage of me being on a show like that and tried to get involved and reach out to gossip magazines and get their own names out there and whatnot, and it kind of got them nowhere. But at the same time too, you both probably know who I'm talking about in terms of who they reach out to, but at the same time as well.
I know.
Yeah, I don't need toxic people in my life. So obviously they didn't get invited, but we had a small wedding. It was only about 85 people in the end. We wanted to keep it intimate, and I guess those that truly knew us as people and as a couple, I guess that's who we wanted there on the day to help celebrate. So I'm sorry that your invites got lost through Australia Post somehow, but I'll have to get on to them now.
Right. Yeah,
and y'all got to renew them vows as soon as possible. ASAP.
But the Mel, did you lose any friends, throughout the whole process of MAFS, or did you have to cut any people out that were saying, probably in your ear, saying, "Oh, you should leave Bryce and this that"?
Well, it's interesting, because I actually walked away from MAFS, and contrary to what a lot of people from our series did say, that Bryce was controlling me and keeping me away from everybody, I'm just a very introverted person, and I didn't actually make a lot of friends on the show. I was very close with Kerry and Johnny. But that fell apart not too long into the season airing, and that's for whatever reason. But other than that, I actually, was there for a relationship. I wasn't there to make friends, and I love that from like the future series that people have walked away and maybe their relationship didn't work out, but they've walked away with friends, girlfriends, mates afterwards, and that's so great. But just with my type of personality, I was just completely focused on my partner and making it work. So at the end of the day, it's no big loss. I actually walked away with what I wanted, and I have 2 beautiful boys. We're married.
Come on now.
And it's been such a journey, but I've never been happier.
Come on now, man. That's some pure testament to what
That's
perseverance
so
can do,
cute,
man. You know what I'm saying? I hope you're taking some notes right now, boy.
I am.
This is how we can make it work.
Yeah.
I am too for when I get my shit sorted, guys. I'm just telling y'all right now. Yo, listen, man, this has been beautiful. But look, we got one more thing that we got to do. So we've got a game that we usually play that's called That's Dicey. And usually when you guys are in the studio, we'll give you some dice for you guys to roll. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're just going to throw some random questions at you guys. It's just going to be like rapid fire. So we've got about 4 questions that we're going to throw you guys. You guys keen to play?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Let's get it. Let's
Let's
get it.
play.
So, first question, actually, I'm going to ask this to Bryce. Did seeing yourself on TV make you self-reflect?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the way I came across, you can't not self-reflect. So, yeah, definitely.
And did you see any truth in any of the criticisms that you faced?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, there was definitely some comments that I read and thought, yeah, you know what, you're pretty on the money. Some I thought were pretty whacked out of there. But at the same time, too, I'm like, yeah, the ones that you see that you think are true, that's what you work on. So,
I like that, boy.
I'm not. All right, Mel. When the public scrutiny was at its most intense, did you ever consider walking away?
Oh, absolutely. It was, I definitely could have walked away, absolutely. But we put too much effort and had sacrificed too much, and the feelings were too real. So I couldn't do it.
Yeah. Because obviously, because I feel like public scrutiny is puts a lot of pressure on relationships.
100%, bro.
Like
Yeah.
huge amount of pressure, and when me, because I got a girlfriend now, and sometimes you see these articles coming out and stuff like that, and it puts pressure on us. But like it takes like someone, a really strong couple to push through it all, and you just got to trust in yourselves and really just tell each other every single day to.
yeah, it's good to see that you're playing your engagement too, which is good, Al. Good to hear.
Yeah. I love you, baby.
Yeah, stop it.
All right, here we go.
Yeah.
This is actually for both of you guys. What do you say to people that claim that you're still together just to prove everyone wrong?
Well, we've had 2 kids, so that's a long-term commitment for us to prove people wrong. That'd be pretty cruel on the kids. I should add. So
Yeah. Imagine they grow up and you're like, I just had you guys to prove everyone else wrong.
I'd keep it simple. Just get yourself some help.
Wow. Hey, and actually, this is actually apart from That's Dicey. Do you guys have any advice to people that are going to be going on any love, TV reality show?
Be prepared for what can come afterwards. I know a lot of people go and do these shows. I was chatting to people at work today about it, actually, that they're going there to get a social media following and whatnot. And look, that can be an added little bonus for some people that get that. I think you've got to put yourself first and think of like things like your mental health, your own well-being, your career, that type of thing. Because if you really think being on TV for 5 minutes is really worth changing your whole life over, well, then it's a risk you take. You can't really sort of complain about the outcome of it if it doesn't go as you would like.
Are you guys watching this season of MAFS?
I watched a bit of the one that was on. And yeah, it was like, it kind of just feels the same. Like even your series last year, our kind of felt the same as ours. Like 2 people against each other, and then this year again, like people against a couple, as in Harrison and Bronte, like everyone having a crack at them. Yeah, granted, you sort of read and hear things about why people are there and what their motives were for going on the show with voice messages and shit like that. But at the same time too, I kind of think that it felt like we were watching ourselves back.
Do you
later.
sympathise more for them?
I wouldn't say sympathise. I look at it from the point of view that obviously storylines are short in the MAFS production room. So they're obviously just rehashing the same shit.
Wow. Guys, man, thank you so much for your time. You know what I mean? I know you guys got the kids, you know what I mean? And I know it's probably bath time soon, as you said. So, first of all, I want to say thank you so much for joining us. And it's actually lovely to meet you guys.
Yeah, I want to say thank you guys for jumping on Back to Reality. And it's actually, it's great hearing, an actual success story
For real.
coming out of MAFS, even though the percentages aren't that great.
You're talking about yourself right now.
Well, my season, no one stayed together on my season.
Damn, boy.
That season had 2 people stay together, 2 couples.
Shit.
Yeah.
But yo, hopefully we can actually get to meet soon. But for now, man, thanks so much for coming, guys. And hopefully we'll see you guys soon.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers.
Man, what an episode. How good was that?
That was beautiful, man. That was
And
beautiful.
I'd like to say thank you, everybody, for listening. Wherever you're listening, whether you're running or you're driving or wherever you're listening, just thank you. And can you please subscribe wherever you listen on your podcast.
Wow, beautiful.